I am here. Hopefully this is better. YouTube decided to hopefully this is working now. Hello everyone. YouTube decided to change my my stream key. So let's get everything reset up. One moment. Technical difficulties, please stand by. YouTube's been making a lot of changes lately, and I seem to run into every one of them. I think I uploaded the last video roughly 16 times before it worked. We there? We good? There we go. Hello everyone. Let's see what is working and what's not today. How about clapping? Is that working? Yes. How's it going? So, a bit of a rough start today. My phone's telling me things. I don't know what. Okay, good. Tom's here, 3D Printing Viking. Makerfield is here. Greetings, Turkey. I know it. I'm good friends with the Turkish guy. Good people. David Olson's here. Carl Schumann's here. Jerry's here. Mike No Lets Machines Win. Robert Reynolds. Sergio's here. How's everyone doing? Coffee. The Guinness is here. Good morning, Mark Hart. Mike Hutchins, hello. John D is here. Ricardo, hello from Portugal. Michael Fox is here. Chris Gulata is here. Bob S. Buffer size and related island items in Marlin. I mean, you can overrun it pretty easy. I'd have to get you some numbers, though. I hope to test a lot of that now that the 32-bit boards are really cheap. I hope to test a lot of that good stuff. Jay's 3D Adventures here. Hello. Cromer is here. Good morning, David. How are you? Lester is here. Good morning. So today, you know, this is the usual Sunday. Hanging out, talking to chat. So this printer, now, it is from SeeMeCNC. Who, they make good stuff, right? They are... $1 super chat from John, thank you very much. Awesome, you got your SKR working. Hello, Lester, or I already said hello, Lester. Imagination to form, hello. Yeah, box is a bit banged up. So, there's a story with every printer that I get, right? So I got this thing cheap because they stopped making them. I'm pretty sure that they no longer make this machine. This is the Eris. It is completely injection molded. It looks like a Fisher-Price 3D printer. The only reason why I got it, one, is because it was really cheap. I bought it around $200, I want to say, months and months ago. It's been sitting down there on the shelf. If you go back and watch some of the videos, you can see it sitting down there. It's been sitting down there forever. But the biggest reason why I bought it is because this is the famous backpack printer that Mitch 3D had for a couple years in a row. And I really like the look of it, and just the fact that Mitch made it a backpack, I really wanted to play with one and try it out. Now, he has since moved to a different SeeMeCNC printer. At Murph this year, at Murph 19, he had a different metal version. It was still a small one, but it was a lot different printer than this one. So I definitely wanted to give this a try, just play around with it. It might be fun. We'll give it to somebody or something after we mess with it for a little while. So, just another excuse to, you know, have a 3D printer and hang out with you all. William, how's it going? Dan, hopefully we're getting some of your issues worked out. Good to see you on the stream. I know we've talked a little bit back and forth. John Clark is here. Ricky Tanner. A Fatal Paper Cut. I always love that name. John, give you 2 free $1 super chats a month? That's cool. Very nice. Elf Pimp is here. Elf Pimp, I really like that handle. I think that's funny. Greg. Gary. Oh, kind of Chad Williams is here. Try to keep my mega way more quiet. Yes, 22.8's really quiet things down. Yeah, because I need another printer. Yep, you bet, you bet. Okay, so let's just have a look, see what's in this thing. Like I said, it's been sitting there a while. I'm not even sure what parts they use, who they had it made. I mean, I'm sure SeeMeCNC makes all this stuff by, most all this stuff by hand right there in Indiana, right? But I'm not sure who made this one. Like I said, it is completely injection molded. And for what I understand, it's all one piece assembled, you know, stand it up and try to print on it. From what Mitch was saying, it has some sort of wacky auto bed leveling that it tries to do. Oh, how cute is that? Look at this. That's just adorable. Got a little packet of stuff. Hopefully they didn't send me any communications or something along with the printer, because it's been a while. Oh, I got a spool of filament. That's got some age on it. And it's blue, and it's not vacuum packed, so I don't know how good that's going to be. Meanwhile, power supply. Okay. A-net is poo. Very nice, very nice. Nutbox76, hello. There's a Benchy on the horizon. They did test it. There's a little test print on here. It's just, now I can see why Mitch wanted to put this in a backpack form, because it is just too much for words. I'll give you a look at this thing. See, they did put it does have a test print on it. It does have an easy R, though. I mean, that's not a bad extruder. I mean, they're only 35 bucks, but not bad. It's not a bad extruder. I put it on a few things. Toaster slots on the top. That's some big toast. Benchy Factory Groves, definitely. This was just, yeah, pre-built. That's no fun. Poppy Ron is here. Hello, Poppy Ron. Yeah, box was sat on. It did have some nice foam in it, though, so it made it safe. Yeah, this was more for fun than anything, right? Like I said, I got it as they were stopping to produce these. That's when I got it, so I thought it'd be entertaining. You go camping with it. That's right. So I'm not even sure. Well, let's open this packet. Let's see what's in here. David Olson, $5. Thank you very much, David. It is much appreciated. This is a USB cable. That's all that's in this packet. I did get a sticker. So there is a USB slot, but spool holder's a little off there. There appears to be no SD card or anything like that. And there were no directions. This is recertified, by the way. See if we can get that print off of there. My volume is up and down. It should be fairly consistent, I hope. Maybe it's just my energy. Hey David, how's it going? Solar panels and batteries? This is not my first Delta. This is my third Delta, fourth Delta, somewhere in there. I've got a couple. I don't go for the Deltas very often. When you go shopping for Deltas, there's a big jump. You can either get really, really cheap or really, really expensive. So it's kind of a hard market to be in. I would love to have an Artemis or something like that. That would be cool. I'd have to find some place to put it. That would be interesting. But it's just not high on my list of printers to buy. This is kind of interesting. So I don't know if you can see that, but so the extruder, right, gets fed from here by this tube, which is connected to this tube over here that is fed by this spool holder. So you're going all the way around the printer body to feed the filament. That's interesting. I've never seen that one before. So that's kind of cool, I guess. Deltas are finicky, you know? You have to really know, well, I wouldn't even say that. I was going to say you really have to know what you're doing, but you don't really. It's just, if you're coming from Cartesian, it's kind of a different game. Let's see what it does. Ooh, it's got a light on it. I hear fans. Ooh, nice. Look, it's lit up in the front. This is just too much. Let's just see how good this filament is. You foresee nothing good? Well, we'll see. You know, that's why we're here. VJB, hello, how are you? Yeah, I'd hear you, Delta message you. I know, they're fun to watch print, but man, try to level one and it's a nightmare. Filament's a little crunchy, not too bad. Yeah, oh, that's right, I forgot about that Delta, Ricky. I wouldn't even call it a printer. So this is Delta number 4, if you include that mess. It's still sitting over there where I left it the day we got off the stream. It hasn't moved an inch, and I don't even want to touch it. Maybe someday I'll get to that. Or turn it into something else, maybe. Volume fine? Good, okay. My little spool holder doesn't like to sit on there very well, though. It does fit their spool, which, you know, sometimes you get a manufacturer that doesn't do that. Long stripped it for parts, I should, but it's just over there in a garbage heap. It really is. I took it apart. G-Tech sent me a bunch of parts to try to fix it. They really did. They tried a couple of times, but they kept sending the wrong things, and it just wasn't going well. So I just abandoned it altogether, pretty much. It has the winder on it. Might take a while, but it does have a winder on it. Yep. Battle with the Delta. I know that all too well. Philodry? No, Philodry has not contacted me at all. Did everyone see, and Chuck might be watching, but you know, that's fine. Mixed feelings about G-Tech. G-Tech has treated me okay. At least you can buy parts from them. Did everyone see Chuck's video where he proved me wrong? He said, we talked, you know, we sent messages back and forth to each other. Like, no, man, I use the same profile for every machine. That's how I can compare machines, right? If you go messing around with the profile, then you don't know one machine from the next. Now, if you want your machine to run, I'm not saying that that's what you should do. I'm just saying if you're testing hardware, it's pretty hard to jump from profile to profile and get any results that are somewhat consistent. So I use the same one, and that's what I used for the testing that I did with fan or no fan. And Chuck said, well, you need to use my profile, and then you won't need a part fan anymore. And I have yet to test his profile because I don't use Cura very often, so I will get around to that. But Chuck redid it and blocked off all the air, and he says those results are the same. And I believe him. I'm not saying Chuck, is wrong, but I did find the video very fascinating, and I do want to retest it. So we're going to find out. But I like the back and forth. I do. I like that between me and Chuck. Chuck is a lot more, has a lot more time and experience in this field than I do. He's been in 3D printing for a long time, so I trust what he does fully. But I do like being able to take what he's done and try to replicate it. That's kind of fun. All right, we're heating up. Let's see what it does. Ooh, we got a red light when we heat. I don't know if you can see those lights or not. Get a cool little red light over here. See? Nice. Yeah, I'll probably be able to do that, Tom. Battle of the fans. The magic stuff. I kind of like that. I think he took that. He took that in a direction that was he labeled it the magic numbers, and I like the direction that he took that in. And it's just getting your layer height consistent with trying to get it to full steps, right? Trying to get you where you should be on a certain motor, a certain lead screw. But he called it the magic numbers, and I think that really did something for him. I think that was a pretty smart move for a content creator to kind of coin that, because now everybody uses this magic number term. No backpack strap, send it back. Exactly. Hey Colin, how you doing, man? Yeah, Michael Fox, I did. I caught that a couple of days ago, actually. He said Chris and Walter, I think, or something like that. That's pretty funny. When he was talking about the other dryer. And that other dryer, the one, they are actually trying to combat issues that they have with nylon, so they don't have to continually dry the nylon. But they're taking it from a dry area, pulling it out, and trying to print with it. They're just trying to combat the filament that's in the open air, making a transition to the printer. And that I can see. You're just trying to get the filament as consistent as possible while you're using it. And if you're trying to dry it just a little bit on the fly like that, I can totally see that, just to make it a little more accurate. But taking degraded filament and trying to dry it on the fly, I don't see it. 3D Jimmy, yes. Walter will be hosting Fun in the Country Basement today at 4 o'clock Eastern. So we'll jump over onto that channel. I will be there. Monoprice Select community had magic numbers. Okay. Maybe that's where he got it. I don't know. Chuck started like with DaVinci. He told me how long ago it was, like 2011 or something, that when he got into DaVinci printers. I don't really remember. Because it spells Chris as Eris. Nice. Okay, so we've got some filament oozing out, so we're heated. Now I got to figure out how to slice a file for this thing. How big is it? That's a first question that we should probably answer. What do you figure? What do you figure? I want to say 120 max. And maybe, I don't know, 160? Pretty small. It's just a little bigger than the Monoprice Mini Delta. And I'm going to use Prusa Slicer, not Slick 3R. So it's going to take me a half hour to figure this out. Oh, no, wait. I'm still going to use Slick 3R because I don't have Prusa. This is the only machine I don't have Prusa Slicer on now. So Slick 3R it is. Yes, go ahead and reconfigure it. Why not? Nope. 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 So I'll have to get that done at some point. Sure. Okay. Let's see. Now I believe this thing does have a leveling routine. I don't even have a profile set up for that other mini delta. Hopefully this is going to work. All right. We're back. So the computer completely crashed, and this is the second time that it's done this to me in a week. So this isn't looking good. And this is a brand new computer, by the way. So let me see if I can find chat again. And then we'll try to slice a file again and see if it crashes again. That is no fun. So now I got to figure out why it's crashing. Sorry about that interruption, everyone. Stream Deck doesn't work anymore. I lost all kinds of good stuff. The bits probably did fall out. Call Geek Squad, yeah. Roundhouse kick it. Lack of Prusa slicer, that's probably what it was. Okay, let's try that again, I guess. I wonder if Windows Event Manager would even be close to helpful. Somehow I doubt it. I don't think it's getting too hot or anything. Yeah, now YouTube's going to be all crazy with 2 live streams and whatnot, right? It'd be nice if it knew to join those together. Maybe it will. We'll see. All right. So now we got back to slicing here. It doesn't matter. I'm going to create this from scratch. All right. Circular. What'd I say? Let's go 120. 160. Oh, that's what I wanted to know. Does it have auto leveling, and how does that work? Because we're going to need to know that. So that's G28. Can you see main table now? Yep, there you go. So at home's really quick. That's good. Let's see if it takes a G29. It takes it. Let's see what it does with it. Andrew asks, well, it's not going so hot yet today, but Brian Crooks just subscribed. Thank you very much, Brian. So it did a level. Did it give me a matrix? It did. It's actually pretty nice. It goes through, has a little light on the hot end. I like that. It goes through, enables leveling, disables it so it can save those values. That's kind of interesting how they put the software together. I like that. Like a bird pecking on a plate. Yeah, kind of. Yes, about twice as fast. Agreed. YouTube problems. Yes, Victor, YouTube always problems. So, I don't know if I should run that on every print. I do like a good level on every print, but let's run it for the first print. What do you say? This does not have a heated bed. No, it does not. Looks like glass. Actually, let's take a look at that. We got time. We got time. Yeah, it's just a little plate of glass in there. Cool. So it's probably nice and flat. So not much G-code needed there. We'll just take a swag at retraction settings. We won't turn Z-lift on for the moment. And what's this thing called? Eris. Eris. Alrighty. And then we need a model to print. Benchy looks huge on that build plate. I think I have one with no bed. Yes. Normal. Yes. This should be good enough to get us a print. Let's, if the computer stays active. And then I will pay attention to the chat and talk to all you lovely people. I promise. "3D Benchy, go." Did I put a G29 in there? No, I did not. Almost ready, I swear. Okay. Let's reload that file. And let's go. I just hit print. Let's see what it does. Extreme close-up. How about some extreme focus? There you go. So yeah. Yeah, I think the Eris was the Eris at one time was close to $400. These have been around a while, and then they dropped it to like $350, and then they had a bunch of recertified ones last year, which is this one, and I think I want to say it was $225 or $235 or something. It was pretty affordable, and that was before there was a model price Mini Delta, I believe, maybe, or around the same time. So any small Delta was a little higher price than they are at the moment. List price is $550. Benchy Armada, yes. English is hard. Yep, I made it back. Hopefully the stream is still holding up. You do it. John, what's up, man? Good. Stream's holding up. We're going to figure out why Windows hates me. I didn't set an offset or anything on here, so yeah, there's that. The nozzle definitely wasn't primed very much. I think it's too low. Let's let it kick some filament out, then we might have to restart. Is the extruder turning? The extruder's not even turning. It's not kicking out any filament. I knew this couldn't be this easy. I know it couldn't be this easy. Now I wonder why I waited 8 months to put this thing, to take this thing out of the box. All right. It's because it never made it up to temp. Let me check my G-code again. Maybe I messed up the G-code. First layer, wait for, I got a 104 and a 109. Yep. Yeah, it never made it up to temp. Maybe it got confused by the computer crash. It wasn't, usually though, when you see that, so if it takes off, starts printing, and the extruder's not up to temp, you messed up the G-code, you can usually see the monitor getting flooded with failed cold extrusion, all that. So I don't know what's going on with this one, but yeah, that happened. Yeah, it has a 104 in it. So it has a 104 and a 109. Sergio's can't get the stream to come back up. So it's heating. Let's ooh, I should have set feed rate on that. Let's see if we can get it to manually feed out some filament here. Let's try to figure out what the problem is. It probably was the reason why they stopped making this printer. I don't think it was viable for them. They're here in the States. They're in Indiana over there by Goshen, by Murph. So they make everything right there in-house, so I don't think it was financially feasible to continue making these things. I don't know, I'm sure that they didn't do the injection molding. Maybe they did, but I'm sure that was farmed out to somebody. So I don't know who they were working with, but... Okay, so the extruder works. That's good. It just didn't come up to temp with the G-code file. So now we need to figure out why the G-code file is messed up. Let's try this again. You learn something new every day. Well, it takes off and starts leveling though. Hold on, I want to try something. We're here for experimentation, right? So stop doing what you're doing there, Eris. Hold your horses. It is making a mess. Let's just take a look and see what's going on inside this thing. Aha! So there's one problem. I don't think this is Marlin. Aha! It's Repetier. That's one problem. It's Repetier firmware. Let's just consult the Repetier G-code manual. (104), 109. Maybe it doesn't like the... What is auto level in Repetier? You know, I've done this before. So Repetier uses, it will accept a G29, but then it runs a separate command. So it's got, what do they call that? It's got a, just like a, I want to say symbolic link. That's not the right term. But it's got a link to that command to just push it over to whatever they use. This isn't the site that I want. Marlin. So Repetier likes G32, but that's just for the Z. So, honestly, it should work just like that. It should work just like that. Because I don't think it even homed. Let's, what's that command where you wait for everything to run? M400? Let's throw an M400 in there. If Repetier acknowledges that. Okay, so it did it properly with the M400 in there. So it was just running the whole thing at once, and that is a problem sometimes on certain versions of firmware. I've found it won't wait. It just completely blows by that M109 and runs the rest of the code. I've seen that happen before. I haven't seen it in a long time though on newer versions, but this probably is some pretty ancient firmware. In fact, it showed me the version. What was it? .922. I don't know my numbers on firmware, but I think they're in the 1.3 or 1.4 now, or something like that. Anyway, excellent. As long as 400 is supported, so we're good. Gusner is here. Hello. What's a 30 do? Save it? Hey, Patrick, how are you? It's still heating. Keith is here. Yep. There's really no need for 5,000s on a 17, I wouldn't think, but I do like a new stepper driver. I got a hold of Philistruder. I definitely want to try out the 2209s just for fun. Not that I think they're going to be much different than an 08, but you know, it's new. We'll have to check it out. No, it's just driving it into the bed. Oh, it made a good one that time. This thing is awesome. I'm not sure what it's trying to decide. No, it's frozen. Don't break, don't break. It might just break. Error, end stop not working properly. Well, I'd say so. I'm not even sure how this thing works. Again, I have zero experience with this, right? Huh. Alright, we're just gonna try again and see what it does. Maybe it just lost its marbles for a second. Reflash with Marlin, that's probably what it actually needs. No, it's Repetier, it's not Marlin. No clue what board this has. It's doing the same thing. Something it doesn't like about my G-code. It works fine with the with a manual G29. Which doesn't make any sense at all. So now that we've auto leveled once, let's just run it without auto level.
What do you say to that?
This thing has mini Rambo? Seriously? Nice. That's right. I don't do things that are easy. That wouldn't be any fun. What would I do with the rest of the day? Sit on the couch? I'd print benches, you're right. I have, yeah, we got to put Marlin on it. We're going to have to put Marlin on it, for sure. We'll get all the fancy stuff. We'll see if we can get it to print fast enough to overrun the processor. I had a mascot for us today, but I don't know if he's done printing. I kind of messed it up, too. I didn't get the colors blended just right. Let's see if it's done, though. Come on. It is done. You want me to go get, well, let's wait for this to print and I'll go get it. Now we're going. First layer actually looks pretty good. I do like the light, I have to say. The little light, pretty awesome. Every printer should have that. Now I have to put a bead air cooler on it like Mitch's has. The little pump, those things are cool. I will not be wearing it as a backpack though. Nice. It looks pretty good. That's right. Now we're printing. X1 Sidewinder. I might just have an X1 Sidewinder sitting over there, maybe. On every printer, exactly. Our next live stream, I don't know when it's going to be, late June sometime, our next live stream will be the FT6 assembly. And if you don't know what Foldertech FT6 is, go look it up, because it's like a half-size FK1. It's a monster. So that will be the next live stream coming up, but it's going to be a couple of weeks. I think. As of now. We'll see, though. Hello, Roberto from Argentina. How are you? Glad you liked the video. Entire weekend stream. It might just be. It's like 40 hours. Somebody on here said they did it in 8. And I'm not the fastest assembly person, but I'm not a slouch either. I might be able to get it done in a day. Took him days, yeah. Some people were frightening me about that. Long streams are good. Yeah, maybe we'll start early. Maybe I'll like start at 8 or something. Give myself an extra time. I'm not sure. It's a big old box. It weighs almost 70 pounds, I can tell you that. Yep, same here, Mike. A small printer, one that would be easy to enclose. I don't know. Thanks, Jose. Yeah, my box, that thing is rough. Really rough. Ready for that all day, yeah. Yeah, that thing got hammered as it got delivered. Um, 8-inch. I don't know. Like M3D's got some really small ones, but I don't know how the quality is on one of those things. I haven't even seen the new Tornado yet. Hey, Glenn from Alabama, how are you? Dropped off by Tornado, exactly. Tornado Express. Let me go get our mascot. I'll be right back. You can come with me, though. Don't break, don't break. There we go. So I kind of messed him up because of, we need one more camera. That's what we need. I kind of messed him up because I forgot to blend the colors. So I got some color bleed because I was using Protopasta and it's got a lot of dye in it. So it bled off into my lighter colors, but I still enjoy the print. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you anyway. There you go. Multicolored Joel Telling. See where it kind of looks like he's wearing a long sleeve t-shirt under his shirt. So that's kind of a nice effect. But it definitely bled. I want to run another one where I actually fix the colors and have him not bleed. But he looks pretty good. Fedrin does a great job at those models. I don't know how he does it, but they're incredible. Yeah, it's just a Benchy. I was just going to show you. No. He could probably ride on the printer with us. Now you can say you're hanging out with Joel Telling in Chris's basement. I don't know exactly which one I want to focus on, but I say Benchy. Nice. I like it. It's a turtleneck shirt, that's right. He does live in Seattle, so. Hey Don, how you doing? New clothes sometimes, that's true, very true. But it is High Five Blue, so I figured it was fitting. That is MMU2. Yep. I heard you need some more coffee. That code took it out of me. I wonder if there's an updated version for this. Like I said, I don't even know how much information is around for these. Nick just subscribed. Hey Nick, thanks for the sub. Firmware downloads. Let's see what they offer. Slicing. Eris Delta. Let's see what the date on that file is. Whoa. Well, they give me a hex file. Oh, and they want you to use matter control to flash it. Interesting. Online Delta calibration wizard. Yeah, I think it needs Marlin. I do. Put a hex on you. That hex file might hex us both. Don't forget to hug each other more. Mapper06, you're never late. You're always on time. We're just hanging out with Joel, Brenda Benchy. Oh, John, that's always a fun job. Hello, Costas. How are you? Hobby Rob is here. Hot in the Netherlands. It's gonna be pretty warm to here today, a little over 80, I think. It was hot yesterday, it was almost 90. That needs Marlin. The coffee pot, it needs Marlin. Toaster, definitely needs Marlin. Definitely needs Marlin. Marlin's like ranch dressing. There's not much you can't fix with ranch. If you can't fix it with ranch, you gotta put chocolate on it. Great. I'm glad you watch the videos. I'm glad people like the videos. That's why I make them. Metallica. It really does need a right hand, doesn't it? Totally needs a... We should get Vedran to do a high five edition. That'd be fun. "3D printing newbie, excellent. Spoiler alert: Wednesday's video is Mark III to Mark III's upgrade, and it took me a few hours to get it done. There's a few things you have to do, so. Yep, Joel needs a hand up. I kind of like the color of this filament, though. It's aqua. Kind of nifty. I don't know that I've ever had any quite that color. Yeah, I figured a lot of people probably had the Mark III's upgrade kits just sitting around, because it is kind of, you know, the 3 printed okay anyway. I mean, there really wasn't, if your filament sensor wasn't giving you problems, there's really not a rush to put it on. So I thought it might make a nice video, maybe get some people motivated to get their new filament sensor in, because it is much better, much more consistent than the original one. There you go. Yeah, watch it through. It's long, man. I think that thing's 30 minutes long of me tearing it down and putting it back together. It took me a minute. It's SeeMeCNC brand. That's how they market it anyway. I don't know who actually makes it, but it's sky blue. SeeMeCNC is what it's called. Something in the filament world that I found interesting, I found the other day. PM brand filament. Yeah, PM brand. That is what Prusa used to sell before they started making Prusament. They are opening a USA warehouse. So if you're in the US and you like that brand of filament, there is no filament that is wound any nicer than their filament. It's amazingly wound. But that sounds kind of weird, but it is. If you like PM, you should be able to get it very soon, cost effectively in the United States. So I'm kind of excited for that. I kind of enjoy that filament. It's a little higher temp filament, I would guess. It feels a little harder than a lot of filaments. It's a little stiffer, but I dig it. I like that stuff. So definitely gonna grab a couple of spools of that. Found one in Boise. I'd be interested to know who that is, Jason. That's cool. Bear upgrades are cool. I would like to do one from scratch, though. If I'm going to do one, I would do ones from scratch. And I've got a couple other builds already coming that I have to get done first. But If I did one from scratch, if I did the bear from scratch, I would definitely make it bigger. We would do like a CR10 size or something like that. Let's see. Precision 3D filament. Okay. Thank you for the link. I know, hang shed still does need to be a thing. I really wanted to do that. It's too tight. I need about 3 more feet to make it actually happen. I don't know. I was still toying, because the original, so I did a version 2 hang printer, and then I did a version 3. And the version 2 I actually had in the garage, and it was a great fit, because that ceiling's 10 foot tall, and it's, 16, 17 feet wide. So that worked really well in there. But a lot of other stuff goes on in the garage, so having a printer running on wires for days, probably not the best idea. And it's probably not going to go very well. But that would be the optimum place to do that. But, so maybe I might try it again up there. The print area where it's actually hanging right now is getting tighter and tighter. I actually just put in another shelf so that I could get more printers in there. So that area is probably a no-go as well at this point. So I just don't have the room. Let's see, is it lifting? No, I think it's just shadow. It looks to be stuck down pretty good. The Chris Riley Beast printer, there you go. 3D print more room, yeah. Print a new room, I like it. Techie Dad, Brandon is here, hello. Need a basement tour. A couple of people have asked for that, and I guess I need to do that. I did one for the Patreon video, but I need to make one for everyone. So we should do that. The hang printer, it is really loud. I know, that's what I really wanted to do. We'd do 15, 16 days in a row. I'd get UPS power out there and just let it run, have its own channel, just let it go. I have never used, there's been a lot of people that use that iCam or whatever they call it, PS3. They supposedly work pretty good with Octoprint. I don't know though, I've never tested it. I know, I need a bigger basement. I gotta get rid of some printers. Chris's Hangout. Engrave a second basement. There you go. All right, I need some coffee. I need some coffee. There's 181 people on this stream, and I appreciate every one of you, but Chris's basement is also the home of the 45-second coffee run. So watch this thing. Make sure it doesn't hurt anyone. Here, I'll even flip this over for you. I'll be right back. And I only spilled a little on myself, so we're good to go. So for this afternoon, I've got a couple of things I need to do. What do you think? No? The layers are a little rough, I have to say. It does have just a little bit of part cooling. Not going to be super accurate with these really plastic. I mean, yeah, this hardware is, wow. But anyway, for this afternoon, I got a couple things I need to do. So I'm working on the Ender 3. I'm creating a plate to block the airflow. So we want to rule out the hot end fan altogether. We just want part fan. And I can't do it with tape forever. So in Fusion, I'm trying to design a plate that's going to work for that. So I got to get that done, and then I can start testing with Chuck's profile on the Ender 3. And then I also have a bunch of log work to do because I'm finally going to switch out, which I forgot to print the plate. Oh well. I'm finally going to start switching out a lot of the parts with that blue filament that I've been using, but I got to take a bunch of that apart. So I might do that this afternoon as well. We'll see. Everything on this printer is injection molded plastic. And those arms are very thin injection molded pieces. That's what you call your bathroom breaks, yeah? Yeah. Sending a fax. Yeah, all of it is injection molded. The Hotends pretty nice though, I have to say. I'm not sure if that's a SeeMeCNC thing or what, but it's got a pretty nice heatsink on it. Want to sell? Yeah, I'll let you know, John. I got a couple that I really need to get out of my way. They look okay. I mean, they're not. It's not the most accurate thing in the world, but for what it is, I mean, it's not bad either. I'll have to ask Mitch how he prints on his. He must have He must have Octoprint just like hanging on the side or something for the backpack. He is the Eris master. There's him and one other guy that always shows up with one of these. Now I don't know that he has his anymore. Mitch has his, but there's always one other guy that has. There's only two that I've ever seen. This is the third one. Send you a printer or two? Yeah, that's going to be kind of pricey for German. I think you're Germany, right? German printing there, yeah. It is layer liney. That's a good term for it, Tom. So good it sold out. So good they no longer make it. Camille is here. Hello. No, I don't think it looks horrible at all for what it is. Plus, you have some pretty good parts here. Now you got me curious about the main board, though. Now I kind of want to crack it open and see what's inside it. Because if you get a mini Rambo and you get an EZR, and I only paid $250 or whatever, $230 for it, I'm more than happy with that. That was an interesting video, Gusner. I would like to know what you think about it. I kind of half watched it. I was watching it while I was working on something, but I was listening to. He explains things very well, so that's pretty easy to do. But the side grinds were very interesting, and the 60 versus 90 degree slope, I find that interesting as well. I never really considered that. But now I kind of want to go back and do some tests to see, just to see what comes out of that. Print quality wise, I don't really think it mattered. you know, just with what he was showing. But now I'm very curious about the construction on some of those nozzles. It was a good video. Stefan does an awesome job on everything he does. So, very interesting though. I liked it. Yes. Matt from How I Do It. Hello, Matt. Yes, it does. That's some information that is not really readily available that he put out there, and that's it really. I mean, if you go back and kind of watch it, it's kind of a game changer, really, to show you, you know, what the machining of these and what is actually put into, you know, the cheap ones versus genuine ones. It's valuable information. Open it up. Tom always wants me to crack stuff open. Yeah, I didn't really catch that part, but I listened to the Melt Zone podcast. I try to catch that as well, and they were Stefan was talking about making that video, and he mentioned that there, and I was pretty. I was pretty interested that was happening. That actually, because I've never seen anything like that, and how he does his cold pulls. I like that as well. And that's a pretty. I wouldn't have thought it, but that's a pretty good way to determine, you know, what the surface of the inside of that actually looks like. It was pretty good. Ballpoint pen, I just crafted one real fast out of the stuff that I had. No, it's not a specific profile. They do have a Cura version out there on their site, it looks like, so. Deltas are cool to watch. They are. Heatsink temps and enclosures, that would be interesting. Because, you know, heatsink, like E3D, they're always supposed to be cool to the touch. So that would be kind of a cool experiment. Settings for PETG, Ender 3 with glass bend. Do you always put something on the bed for adhesion with PETG? On glass, I think you probably still have to go with something. Glue stick or something. But like with PEI, if you got a PEI sheet, you would have to put glue stick on it because it sticks too well. Let's try to read through some chat. CR10 with a duet on it. That's quite the upgrade. High precision wobble drill. Yes. Yeah, Matt, I guess I didn't really think about it, you know? Because I've never really experienced that. But I guess that's probably because most of the time all the nozzles I have are completely covered in filament. Yeah, I had some cheap glow in the dark. That was the first experience that I ever had of wearing out a nozzle. Hey Scalda, how are you? I have not done it with the palette. I do it on the MMU2 quite often, but no, I haven't done it for palette yet. I didn't even know that. I guess I haven't even thought about trying it, but no, I haven't. SeeMeCNC, happy Sunday. Window cleaner, that's a good option. I can go back to this if you'd like. EDM nozzles. Ron Connors, hello. Cosmic Micron, I didn't say hi to you, hello. I'm still doing YouTube, Walter Gray. How are you? Chugging along, you know. YouTube's still there. It's still a side project I have. Tremorline's fiberglass enforced, nice. I figured it was nylon, but nice 3D printing, newbie. Yes, with Lester, we were just talking about the nozzleware video. It was very well done. Chicken nugget time. Alrighty. I have had a lot of issues with my palette too. It's very frustrating. Yeah, we're hot. Yeah, I'll bet you are hot, Walter. Yeah, we're on Walter's channel today, 4 o'clock Eastern for FKB. When switching steel from brass, there aren't any exact numbers. I go 5, just because it doesn't hold the heat as well. You might want to go up a little bit more than that. I don't really have any plans on any of the 5000 series drivers at the moment. They're not really NEMA 17 material. Maybe if we go up to something bigger than that, we would, but no, I don't have any plans right now. I do want to get some 2209s though. MMU is doing okay. I still have a few issues here and there. The sensor isn't... I think most of them are caused by the sensor not getting triggered every time. It's still kind of the same issue we had before. I'm hoping with the next firmware update that the logic will be just a touch better. So we'll see how that goes. It works. Like, say, this is what I did Joel on here. But the MMU, it's working, but it's still kind of frustrating. 3 p.m. basement time. That's right. The slow down of time is very apparent in the basement. Good morning, R. Wolfen. Hello. I have all kinds of different issues with the palette too. One, if the filament is not as pristine as possible, it will snap it. The radius is too tight. It will snap it inside the buffer, and you have to go in there and fish it out. So that's the first problem. So if you're going to palette, use similar filaments and make sure they've got they're nice and fresh. Then the next issue is if you're not extremely careful. I mean, and I'm not the most careful person in the world. I like to tear stuff up, and I like to do things fast. So that doesn't. So I am not one to speak about being careful with anything. But if you're not extremely careful with the palette too, it has a switch on the opening of every filament to tell you whether the filament's loaded or it's the filament sensor. But it has just a little metal switch on it. It's a PCB with a little metal tab, and if you're not careful with pulling out the filament or putting it in, it will actually push that tab into the PCB and not release it ever again. So you have to go in there and take that PCB out, adjust that switch a little bit, and try to get it corrected or replace that switch. So there's a lot of little things that are really finicky about it. And I've also run into software issues, like it'll just crash. So it's really frustrating to use. I have not had, but so is the MMU2 at times, but I have not had near the luck on the palette that I have with the MMU. So, and it's a shame, because it's a very nice piece of hardware. It's well built. But it's such a struggle. For that price especially, it's a struggle. I have Prusa Slicer on 2 of my machines now. I don't have it on this one yet, but I need to upgrade. And I'm being as stuck in my ways as I am and don't like to try new things. I don't like the Prusa Slicer. No, I'm just kidding. It's fine, but I'm still trying to find a few things that I used to know where they weren't. But it's pretty self-explanatory. But I'm still getting used to it. I've just been on it for the last 2 days or so. Move fast, break things. Yeah, that's kind of what I do. William, thank you very much. Yes, I hope to get some 2209s as soon as they release them. There's a new SKR board coming out too. Warkaki sent me a link and said, hey, are you ready for this one? And I'm like, great, another one. But it has 6 driver slots and screw down terminals and all kinds of stuff. So it's coming out soon, so we might get one of those as well. I don't know, Cosmic Micron. I don't know if I could suggest to get an MMU2. It's a lot of frustration. Maybe after I test it, because there's software there's modifications to Marlin now where you can run it on any printer. So maybe if I could tell you, yes, take your MMU2, you don't have to buy a Mark III, put it on any printer you want. If I could give you a guide that showed you how to do that, then yeah, I would probably recommend it because it's really cool. But it is a huge hassle at times, especially if you're using filament that you're not really familiar with or it's not real consistent and you're not using all the same brand. It can drive you insane. So no, I don't think I could recommend it at this point. Ice SL, that is one I have never heard of, Gusner. I thought I'd seen them all. Yeah, Matt, I hear you. It's so frustrating. I've heard that from a lot of people, that they're a Simplify 3D person, but they really like Prusa Slicer. I much prefer, I've always liked Slick 3R. I've been using it since I started printing, so it was just kind of a natural progression. I never really, I still don't know much about Cura, honestly. I mean, I know how to get in there and mess around and you know, adjust stuff, but I don't use it enough to be good at it. That's true. The whole point is to be multi-material, right? The new SKR board uses a new CPU. What CPU are they using? Yeah, their documentation is not great. For the money, that SKR board is awesome. It's cheap. Yeah, the Zesty guys, I talked to Brian, but I haven't talked to him recently. I would like to get a Nimble. I'm way behind on chat. I have scratched this, and this is that snap together flooring, and it is harder than a coffin nail, but I have still scratched it. But I do recommend this stuff. It's a great working surface, and you can get the ripped open boxes, the dented boxes, for really almost no money. Walter, this is the stuff that came with the printer. It's SeeMeCNC Sky Blue. When it's easier to learn to paint a model over the palette. The palette, if I could get away from canvas, I really don't like canvas. Maybe I should try that. Maybe I should try to get around canvas, and then I might like it better. Thomas Moraz is here. Hello, Thomas. Any pointers about the hot end? I don't think I really had any problems with the Tornado. Did they? Maybe the newer ones changed the hot end or something. The hot end wasn't the problem that I had on it. It was, I think the biggest issue with the Tornado that I had is the moving mass of the bed. It's ridiculous heavy. The new one is like, I don't know what the new one's going to cost, but it's serious. It's big. It's got a lot of ports on it. It's got screw down terminals, which I prefer. Design Spark? I don't know. I don't know Design Spark. STM32F7. So that is supported on, not, I don't know about the F7. I know that one is supported by Marlin on other boards. So maybe they just haven't added that board's chipset yet. But we can talk to Mr. Latine and see if that's on the roadmap. I'm sure it is. Everything works, even VL Touch. Nice. Do you have the new VL Touch? Because I've heard a lot of people having problems with that one. You like ironing, the Cura ironing sledding? Yeah. I've heard a lot of people have good luck with that. It does make a really nice top layer. Hey, Ben from Texas. How are you? Yeah, I'm going to try to do it all in one go. We'll see. We'll see if I can get it together. I'll make an attempt at it. Still alpha. Okay. You've been using, yeah, see, and that's probably what I should do. I should jump back down to Chroma and give it a try. This thing's missing some infill. Oh well, they can't all be zingers. You've got the 20, so that one's probably even heavier than the one I had. I had one over a year ago. In fact, Ricky Tanner has it right now. There's your link. Something about version 3.0. It was having compatibility issues with Marlin. Stephen Lightspeed, hey. They might have got that worked out now, but people were having some issues with it not working on some of the newer boards. VL Touch on rearm. I thought it was with the 3.0 version of VL Touch on Marlin 2.0 where the issue was being seen, but I don't remember. Cosmic Micron, I have had to replace 2 of those plastic pens, yes, and they're like 12, 15 bucks or something like that. I can't say, I'm not a big fan of VL Touch. I'm really not. They're okay, they work. Yeah, you dig around and find one of these, Steven. You might be able to still get your hands on one. I'm pretty sure that they don't make them. You might have some contacts over at SeeMeCNC though. Those guys would probably get you one. They probably got about 100 sitting around somewhere. Switch from coffee to beer, good man. We'll see you later, Matt. Thanks for joining the stream. We'll be on later. Yeah, so the one in the middle has the plastic pan, whatever version that is. The first one had the metal, and then the second one had the plastic. Yep, yeah, you should be able to pull 5 volts anywhere. And you can run Beal Touch at 3 volt if you deal with that jumper. Yeah, they don't make them anymore. No worries. That's what I'm here for. Steven, like I said, you have an Artemis, right? So you spent the money for the Artemis. They should just throw in one of these. You know they got some in the back. Just get a hold of them. I'm sure they'll get you one. Don't worry. Volume flow rate. Yes, I have. Not to necessarily. I mean, I played with it just to test to see what it did. Right. I'm going to show that just because I like it. I have just for testing, like not to fix a solution or anything. The problem with volume flow rate is if you're running linear advance, they counteract each other. They do some really crazy stuff. So anything that I would test on probably has linear advanced enabled, and you want to make sure that that is off because it does do some wacky stuff. But it works kind of, but linear advance is kind of the end-all be-all for that for pressure assist. Didn't come with a roll of filament. What? Yeah, see? That's what you do. Just, hey, I heard there might be some Eris printers floating around. You mind if I had one? Hey, Magnus, how are you? Now I'm telling you to go hit up. The guys at SeeMeCNC are going to be calling me saying, what are you doing to us? They won't let me back into Murph. No bueno, Jake Matt, don't do that. Yeah, it won't handle the load. You could do it like with a MOSFET if you wanted to. Yes. Somebody sent me and I'm not quite sure who he is. He's really fluent in Clipper, but he leaves comments on the videos sometimes. He sent me a video of him printing with Clipper on one of those Deltas. It's the fastest print that I've ever seen in my life. It is hauling, and it seems to be turning out a really nice print. Hey, Clint from Sweden. Awesome, Magnus. I'm glad you liked the video. That's been a pretty popular video. People have really been watching it. So anything you want to tell us? That's exactly how it'll be. It should be thrown in. It should be the printer they throw in when you order candy. Yes, I agree. It could have been Kevin, but I don't. I think it's one of his counterparts. I don't think it's actually Kevin. Pat Prop, thank you very much for the 5. That is much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you for coming to the stream. I love hanging out with all you fine people. I know, everybody is freaking out for the SKR, and I had one. I just bought it because it was cheap. And I'd had it for a while, and then people started asking about it. I'm like, okay, well, I'll put it together. Robert Riggins, good morning. And it is funny. Everybody is just freaking out about that board, but it's because of the price point. And they're not bad boards. There's nothing wrong with them. But it has really leveled the playing field for main boards, essentially. We'll see how they hold up over time. See if I can burn one of the MOSFETs out. Same with junction deviation enabled. Yeah, there's some stuff in there that you could modify. Junction deviation probably, you're right, probably just pushes it right over the edge. The only resin printer I have experience with is the Photon. And for the money, I think the Photon's pretty nice. It does a fair job. Resin is still just kind of too much for me. I'm just not a big fan. So yeah, the only experience I have is the Photon. Yeah, same way, the Guinness, it's fine and all. Clipper works, and it's, you know, it has its points, but I always go back to Marlin because I know Marlin, and it's easy for me to get things done with. So I don't mess with Clipper that much. Everyone freaking out on the internet about everything. Has to go back. Yeah, I imagine the percentage of those boards being bad is probably a lot higher than some of the other boards that you would find. There's a reason why Ultimate Machine boards cost hundreds of dollars. It's because they're good. You could put an SKR board on your Ender 2. The only problem with swapping out boards on the Creality machines, especially Ender 2 and 3, you gotta hack the case. And that's gonna get kind of messy. Yeah, you could totally put it on there though.
Never had the chance to thank you for all these videos. Oh, thank you, man.
Costa, thank you very much for the $5. You are welcome for the videos. All right, Walter, we'll see you at 4. But thank you very much. You could print a case. That would be probably your best option. Sean was here. What's up, Sean? And that's something I will warn you about. Everybody that's interested in getting an SKR or a 32-bit board, jumping up to something like that, I'm going to warn you, if you're running Marlin 2.0, it's not ready for prime time yet. It's getting good. It's a lot better than it was 6 months ago. It's a lot better than it was a year ago. But there's still massive amounts of work being done on it. It changes every day. And there's going to be some weird stuff that happens. You don't compile it the same way. I mean, it's going to be a big change. Even if you're used to Arduino IDE and Marlin, it's not going to be just slap it on there and get ready to go. You're going to have to mess with it to get it to work. So that's just a warning.
Chris's channel was part of my motivating factor to support the community with what I have learned as well.
TD3D, thank you very much for the 5, and that is a great comment. That is appreciated. That I always encourage everyone. If you know something, if you're working on something, you found something out, share it, because we need as much help as we can get. This isn't easy. It's a lot of fun, but sometimes it's a struggle. So that's great to hear. Depends on the driver you use. I'm not sure what happened, but if you want to repost that question, I will give it a shot. I'm sure I'm missing a lot. Rodham just subscribed. Thank you. Still beta alpha. That is right. Don't break shirt today. Awesome. Show 'em. They only have the first version of Stealth Shop. I don't actually know that is. I don't know what the versions of Stealth Shop are. I always have to look at the data sheet to see what has what. Well, I appreciate you, TD3D. I appreciate everybody that wants to hang out on my channel or watch my videos. That's what it's here for. Yeah, Dan, I see that's what I'm saying. Dan is experiencing the 32-bit curve right now. There is one. And it's not that it's hard, and there are videos out there to help you through it, but it's different. Yeah, a lot of people prefer VS Code over Atom. I just like Atom. I don't know why. That's just my preferred method. Derek Matthews is here. Hello. Okay, good. Cosmic Micron. Yeah, there's a handful of great drivers out there. But I mean, everybody that's talking in the chat is going to say the same thing that I'm going to say. The Friday night 3D printing community hangout just subscribed. Thank you. Jake Matt, you are always appreciated in these streams, and you know that. You're a regular around here. Platform IO is probably better than the IDE. It's a little smarter. It helps you a little more than the IDE does. Chris Riley Patreon. Well, it's always there, but never required. And all my Patreon supporters are extremely appreciated. Or close to it. That's right. And that's that is a great. Thank you that you watch me and Tom live. I appreciate that. Close to it is a great term because I don't know anything about 3D printing that I didn't learn on the internet. I mean, I didn't go to school for electronics, or, you know, I'm not a mechanical engineer. I just learned it here in the basement on the fly as I purchased 3D printers and parts. I have no background in this. I'm a computer person. I work on mainframe systems. That's what I actually professionally do. And I'm going to mess things up. Everybody's going to mess something up once in a while. I'm not going to get it exactly right the first time, but that's the part of learning. I mean, you learn as you go, and that's what I hope that I convey in my content. Yeah, I might miss some things occasionally. I'm going to. It's just going to happen. But comments and talking about it in a manner that's acceptable, and you probably know what I mean about YouTube comments, that's the way to resolve it and get around it and help each other out. That's how you do things. But coming in and saying that, you know, these are the worst videos ever and I can't believe you're still breathing and things like that, that's not helpful. And 99.9% of everyone is awesome. But, you know, you're always going to have the people on the internet that make it not so awesome. But those people I don't worry about. But that's a great comment. Almost get it right. Yeah, Jake, Matt, whatever. That's a great way to look at it, because the SKR is an affordable way to learn what the future is going to look like, because everything is going to be like that soon. I mean, we're eventually going to get away from the 8-bit boards, eventually. Water Rot, I'll show that one. Are they out now? Awesome, Derek. I appreciate that. We call those people trolls, that's right. I don't even like to give them a name. They don't need that much credit. It's the better way. That's the best way that I learn. Just breaking it. Jake Matt, I don't know if he, I call him Jake Matt. I don't know if he doesn't like that or not, but it's all in good fun. Hopefully it's going to read that, Sholm, but thank you. There you go.
Thank you for sharing your 3D journey with the world. Keep kicking ass, my friend. God bless.
Thank you, Sholm. The 10 is much appreciated, my friend. And I appreciate your continued support. 64-bit boards? We will. We might. Those ARM processors are just so cheap right now. Works both ways, exactly. It doesn't survive short power blips? It should automatically come back. I'm guessing if you pull that power panic wire, it's going to know it. I don't know that for a fact, but I bet you it would. It would. The way that they do self-checks. Why turn it on? Take it apart. I've done that a few times. Circles the line through it. Nice. That's awesome to hear, Dan. I appreciate it. That's what keeps me making them, because they're not easy to make. And YouTube's not an easy thing to do, but I enjoy it. I like the community. I like to help. Yeah, I know. That's funny, Chad. It does it every time, I think. Yeah, Tom likes Maddie Jake. Don't call me Shirley. Gotcha. You got it, buddy. That's right. We need to all remember, we all started out as a newbie. I learn stuff all the time. I mean, every day. And that's what the great thing is about all this. It's just, soon they'll bleep it. Imagination to Forum, thanks for joining today. Anytime. They just make the compiled code larger. That's true. Richard is here. Hello, Richard. Just picked up some 2208s. I've had pretty good luck. How do you say that brand? If Brian Vines was here, he could tell me. They've contacted me. Somebody's like year one. Somebody pronounced it another way, and now I'm trying to remember how he did it. But I have no idea how to pronounce that brand. Very short ones won't recover. Oh, that's interesting. It should it should just shut down and reboot and keep going without even asking any questions. Hey, Paul. Any reason to change the stock belts on an Ender 3? What belts do... I have an Ender 3 right down here. What belts do they use? No. Those are pretty nice belts. They're not genuine belts. Well, if that's the problem with Creality and a lot of other manufacturers is they change them every day. But the belts that I have on my printer, no. Those are pretty nice. They should be okay. Eeyore. No, it's SK. It's an SKR, not an MKS. Is what you're looking for. I made that mistake as well at the beginning. Hey, Chris. Greetings from Austria. Hello. How are you? Yeah, I think we all did. SKR versus MKS. Ian, welcome to the stream. Thank you for the sub. AB's here. Hello. Same form factor? I never really looked at it. I guess it is. Yep, they do have a Pro coming out soon. See you later, Gusner. Thanks for stopping by. I always appreciate you. I'm doing well. How are you doing? I might have a picture of that new one somewhere. Like I say, Warkaki was taunting me about it the other day. Nice tweet, Tom. He took this picture with his phone, but this is the board that we're talking about next. I don't know. I don't think it's officially out yet. You're just starting to see pictures float around. Doom subscribe. Thank you. See you later, John. Take care. So many upgrades can be done. How many really matter? That is a great question. You can get by with very, very few upgrades. It just depends on the machine. I believe the SK. So there's an MKS. I think they call it a 1.3. I don't remember. I don't know all my numbers very well in MKS, but the L is the 2560 board, and if you only need an 8-bit board, but it's all about price, right? I think the L costs more than the 1.3. I don't know about feature-wise. I'd have to take a look, but if you're wanting to use smart drivers, 1.3 is where it's at, hands down. Price, functionality, buy one. So if you just had a particular reason that you needed an L, fine. But I would definitely stay away from their 32-bit. And I think it's called a 1.3. Everyone without the V. Nice. Did I miss a question from Sergio? PETG. I like IC3D PETG pretty good. It works really well. Inland works pretty well. I like it. Really? You've got deep grooves in the rods. Now, see, there was a problem with that where they were using stainless steel ones and they were cutting grooves. Make sure the U-bolts aren't too tight because those are kind of particular. You have to get them just right. Upgrade everything. MMU2, I get that question all the time. It's really cool. You can make some really cool things. But it's a headache. You're going to have to fight it. It's not easy. So, I really can't tell you if it's worth it or not. I don't... If I knew when I bought it, if I knew what I know now, I wouldn't have bought it. That hurts me to say that, but I don't think I would... It's still cool, but I don't think I would have bought it. Same way with the palette, though. If I knew what I knew now about the palette, I definitely wouldn't have bought it twice. I'm hoping it gets better. $80 for the screen and driver. That's a pretty good deal. Links never turn out right, Magnus. Sorry about that. All right, Sean, man, take a nap. Sean Butler's here. Hey. YouTube always breaks the links. Sorry about that. That one's working really good. Awesome. Favorite out-of-the-box printers? I'm a Prusa fan. I really am. I have 4, and they all work great. Now, are they going to have failures? Yeah. Have they had issues before? Yes. But by and large, I just hit print, I pull the part off, I hit print, pull the part off. I mean, they're great machines. They work, especially for the money, they work great, and they take care of themselves. $180, thanks, John, for the stat report. Nice. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out today. This printer seems like it's really slow, especially for a Delta. A Maker Pro. I don't even know what that one is. You missed Sholm. He had to go take a nap. Rip Rap discount. The Guinness, are you having good luck with the full graphic or the 2004? That would be interesting to know. Because my 2004 seemed to work just fine. Duet runs Rip Rap firmware. That's exactly right, 3D Jimmy. Amazon PETG is still tried it, often struggle. Suggestions for a better budget one. Are you in North America? If you're in North America, go to Micro Center and grab a roll of Inland brand. I think it's $16, $17, $18, somewhere in there. I have good luck with it. But maybe Amazon, you just need to dry it out for a while and it might get better. Try it Inland if you're having a problem. It's a good budget go-to. Slow to compensate for the floppy arm. You're probably correct. No, I have not seen that tweet, Derek. I will have to go check it out. Using more than the Ultimaker. Yeah, that's a good statement. Ultimaker's pretty consistent as well. Keeps looking, keeps on ticking, yeah. The RGB minis, nice. I got some cool things in the mail the other day that I'm debating on how I want to put them into a video. Where are they? These things. So I'll just kind of give you a snapshot of one here on the close cam. It's that. Oh no, Joel's down. That. So what that is, we've got to get Joel back up and going here. I don't want him to suffer any contusions. All right. What that is a backpack. So it's a Panicut. So you can take a Rip Rap discount display or the Vicky 2. They're two different modules. I got one of each. They're cheap. So they integrate an ESP8266 right onto the back of your display. So you take this, you plug it into the back of the display, you plug in your LCD cables into there, and you're good to go. And they're running that ESP 3D software out there. It's the same stuff. If you've ever seen the Wi-Fi for your 3D printer video that I did, it's the same software already installed that I ran on that ESP8266 module. But this takes all of the mess out of hooking up Wi-Fi. So if you're interested in using a Duet-like display for your 3D printer for $13 or $14, I think these are, this is the way to do it. So I definitely want to show how to set one of these up and get it working, but very slick way to integrate Wi-Fi if that's something you want to do. Joel does. He does. Man down. Joel's down. Snappy is still alive. Yes, Snappy was printing this morning, in fact. Yeah, let's see if I can get a link that works for that. Lester, you've got a couple of those? Cool. Yeah. And I am not affiliated with Panicut or any of their things, but I did. Eric on Twitter actually pointed me over to these, and I think it's a heck of a great idea. Home. This is their support page. I don't want their support page. Come on. There we go. $16.50 is what they cost. See if this works. Check those out. If you're looking to do some Wi-Fi, that's probably the slickest solution for a riprap type of machine. I like the integration on that. Pretty cool. I used to use eSun years ago. I don't know if they've changed eSun at all over the years. I don't have any currently, but I always had pretty good luck with it. It's a good lower end filament, I would say, fairly consistent. But again, they might have changed in the last couple of years. I don't know. Yeah, getting close to 15K. Chuck really did me a favor. I was in his video the other day, Friday. Yeah, Friday's video, and I think I got a couple hundred subs off of that. So thanks, Chuck. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's really been flying up. That's really cool. I don't have enough exposure to really comment on Railcore. Project Red or whatever, they're doing the kits. And they're pricey. I still want to put one together. I don't have enough experience to comment on one, though, really. I think they could be awesome. But just in, how do we want to say that? In theory, just as a device, how they're set up, the mechanics of it, they could be amazing. But in practice, I don't know about the kits. Or the method that they use to put them together. I don't know anything about it. So I think it could be awesome. You could make it awesome no matter what, but right out of the build, I don't know. It is an expensive printer to build, that is for sure, and that's the only reason why I don't have one. I know, and we've talked about building a printer from scratch before. Just setting down, I'll napkin a printer up and we'll build it. And I'm not sure what keeps me from doing it. I really should, though. I really should. They have multiple, so eSun used to back. There's Eric right there. We just talked about the Wi-Fi backpacks. I grabbed a couple of them. I don't know if you were on here before, but Eric tipped me off on the Wi-Fi backpack, so I got a couple. I'm gonna give them a shot. Thanks for that. And Eric, I still am working with Scott on that screen and board combo. I can't figure out why it won't work. It has to be something buggy in the software, but I'm gonna get it. It's top of my priority now of something to figure out, so I'm gonna get that working. Yeah, so it's kind of like a Pi. It's not, the response time isn't near what a Pi would be, but it's the same concept built into that module. The only problem I have with those modules is because it uses, so it's going to use the SD card on your printer to store the files. It's going to route them over to there, and it is slow. Hopefully they have improved these some where it's not so slow. I'm going to try it out, but that part's kind of eh. But for controlling it, it's pretty nice. Yeah, you're exactly right about filament. Now, I very rarely run into one that I just can't deal with. Once in a while, I'll still get a spool, because I get a lot of spools from different manufacturers. And once in a while, I'll get one that, like, no, I just can't print with this. I'll have to throw it away. But not very often anymore. Uses varying line widths in their stock profiles. I'd have to go look and see what the differences were in between Cura. No, I don't have any thoughts on that. That's probably a good assumption. I'm just lazy. That's why I haven't done one. I do, though, speaking of being lazy, I do have this box right here. And this box is actually quite heavy. This box is completely full of aluminum extrusion. And I also have a Wham Bam plate that's 410 by 410. And that will be the Hypercube build. So I'm going to eventually get that done. I believe it does awesome. That's what I wanted to hear, Eric. So it has direct access to the SD card now because it's on the back of that LCD, and that's exactly what I wanted to test. Sweet. So these are going to be even more awesome than I thought. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be cool. Time? Yeah, time's an issue. $22.09 become the main driver? Nah. I mean, I don't think they'll ever standardize on one, if that's what you mean. They're probably going to be pretty popular, but I think 2208s are pretty popular. It's because of the drop-in factor. You can take, because we were on A4988s, everyone used those forever. I still have a ton of them. They're baked into a lot of the boards. So we went from that, and now we have this direct swap-in 2208 that does a lot of amazing things. So they've become really popular. But now, with the board manufacturers are starting to get smart with their integration, like SKR 1.3. So now you're going to be able to use any of those smart drivers compatible without doing all these crazy jumpers and things. So I think the board manufacturers are going to determine what driver becomes more popular just by what they would support. TMC drivers are really impressive. So no, I don't think 2209 will necessarily become the way to go. I think there's better drivers. There's probably better drivers out there, but in a silent step stick, like a replaceable driver, maybe. Yes, we will probably do the Hypercube build all live stream. I'm hoping I get some, maybe like in a series of evenings. Like maybe I'll take, I don't know if a lot of you were probably around for the Snappy build. I did 3 nights, I think Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, something like that. I think that might be how we do the Hypercube here in a couple weeks. I have a few more parts to get. I got to get a bed. Jason over at LDO, I need to get a motor. But first I have to figure out how much the bed's going to weigh, because I want to get a lead screw and motor combination where I only have to use one and then use rods to support it. But I'm not sure that I can get a 17 that will lift that weight. So I first have to figure out how much it's going to weigh. I know it's going to the build plate's going to be over 10 pounds. So I got to get all that lined out, and then I got to get with Jason and get a motor that I can use. That's pretty much the last piece that I'm going to be able to do. So around 25, yeah, somewhere in there, 2030. Yes, Hypercube Core XY. Yes, and that's part of building the Hypercube is so that we can start with these speed tests, these crazy 32-bit speed tests. That's going to be a lot of fun. We'll see what we can break. See if we can strip the teeth off a belt. Stephen, hello from the UK. A book for reference with G-code. No, I don't know that there probably is. I don't recall there ever being documentation on that, but there is a site that does just G-code reference, and they will give you all of the G-code for every flavor of firmware, and that's the one that I go to all the time. It will tell you compatibility and all that good stuff. It's on the riprap.org wiki. And this is my go-to cheat sheet for everything G-code. There you go. What's a book? I haven't tried it yet, Stephen. I have one. But I have not tried it yet. Every machine... No. The last machine I put the Mosquito on was 24 volt and my heater is 12. Or I would have swapped it out then. Which reminds me, I'm going to have to get a 24 volt heater because the machine I'm next going to put the Mosquito on is 24 volt. So I got to get one of those. I was planning on doing the heater, the 50 watt on the hang printer with the Volcano hot end, but hang printer didn't pan out. I was supposed to do that over the winter and never got it done. Mosquito performs just fine. A lot of people, there's a lot of conversation about the Mosquito. You know, you should test this, you should test that. You're testing the wrong thing. You know, why am I paying this much money for this hot end? It performs fine for hobby printing, PLA, PETG. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Retraction rates go down. All metal hot ends are nice. You don't have to mess with that PTFE tube. You can go well over 260. But that's not really where the Mosquito shines. It's fine for doing that, but Ultim, Peak, you know, high temp carbon fiber, things like that, that's where the Mosquito holds its own. So you're not going to get a whole lot of benefit on a printer that costs, you know, $300 or $200 out of the Mosquito. It's just not going to happen. If you need a Mosquito, you need a Mosquito, basically. So it's really hard to test on the kind of printing that I do, how well a Mosquito actually works. PLA just isn't going to get, you know, that's not really going to challenge that hot end any at all. That's awesome, Eric. I'm glad you know the ins and outs on those, because I was kind of curious how it was going to work, because I have done that whole Wi-Fi configuration before, and if this circumvents a lot of those issues, it's going to be amazing. So, and for the price, yes, all day. So we'll see if we can get this thing hooked up soon. Pretty excited about that now that you gave me some more details. People are saying it clogs a lot. With PLA, it probably does. All metal hot ends don't like PLA. And your retraction needs to be low. And there's probably a lot of people putting them on Bowden machines, and that's not going to help any. So you need to be, any all metal hot end, and you're using PLA, you're going to have to be careful. You're going to have to make some concessions for it and do some prep. Make sure, I mean, your extruder setup's going to be a big factor in an all metal hot end. E3 Micro Swiss, any of the hot ends. It's all going to be, there's going to be factors there, and you're going to have to put up with it. I like the Mosquito because it's easy to use. It's sturdy, it's easy to mount, that doesn't require much fan, and you can swap nozzles one-handed, cold or hot. Protopasta. And Stephen, that's interesting. I've seen you have problems with protopasta and clogs before, and I'm guessing you were using that 2.2 barrel. I don't get clogs on protopasta. This one's protopasta. It works. It seems to work just fine for me. I'd love to know what happened. Mosquito with TPU? Yeah, that'd be interesting. Yeah, I don't know about that. Once it's set up, Clippard, once it's set up, do you think it's easier to configure than Marlin? The way you flash it, the way you configure it, yes, it is. Because once you flash, it's really easy to go in and modify. I don't think it's as straightforward as Marlin is, though. Not yet. I think there's still some work to be done. And they're actively developing it, right? So maybe at one time it will be better. But even though you have to recompile and re-upload Marlin, I still think it's set up a lot more straightforward and it's easier to understand. But that flat, you're right, though. I mean, on Clipper, making tweaks to it is really easy. So that is nice. Yeah, Stephen, that's exactly what I'm seeing. It's issue for some and not for others, and I'd love to know why. What's the factor there? Yeah, and you know, there's the camp that blames the fan, the Noctua 5-volt fan. People blame that fan, and they go to Sonnen fans and have better luck. I don't have that issue either. On two machines, I've got two of them. I haven't had that issue. So I would love to actually get the science down and figure out what's going on here. Lies. Slowest Delta Benchy ever. It is. It seems like it's been running forever, doesn't it? Lenny just subscribed. Thank you, Lenny. Andrew Jason Lee subscribed, and I missed you. Thank you, Andrew. If you turn off retraction, it won't clog. You have tested that, yes? You know that for a fact. And I'm not doubting you. I just want to know if you've tested it, because I will test it. Dwelling, yes, dwelling will. Okay, all right, I'll test it. No hurry. I would like to know the difference, Stephen. I really would like to get down to what's going on here. Yeah, I'm guessing so. I just heard something that didn't sound so good over there. Send you your V6? No, that's okay. That's okay. I got a bunch of V6s. I want to try some different barrels and stuff, and see what actually happens. Thank you though. Maybe if actually, you know what? If I find out some results, when I get to testing it, which I don't know when that'll be, if I find out some results, yeah, I would like to compare it to yours just to see. So we might do that. I'll let you know. The fumes are kind of bad. I don't know that SLA will ever become mainstream. I don't think it's user-friendly enough. Maybe if they can figure it out to make it a little easier, like Prusa's tried with the washing station and stuff, but I think that is still it's too much to ask for the average user. When you're used to FDM, you put a roll in and go. I don't, in its current state, no. I don't think. It has the same issues as SLS does, just in a different format. Only SLS powder could probably kill you if you breathed it. I just don't think that process, the process that it is now, is ever going to become mainstream. It's cool stuff. I mean, the little minis and stuff that people put out are awesome. I really like the way they look. It's just too much work for me. I'm just not willing to put that much time into it. Purple and red mostly. I've heard a lot of people have problems with red filament. Duet can take advantage, and Tom Lama might be able to answer this better than me. Duet can take advantage of stall guard with 2660s, I think, but I don't think it's very reliable. I have never tested it, so I can't tell you for sure. You can do it. I'm pretty sure you can do it. I don't know how well it works. Duet Wi-Fi, yes. Maestro, no. There you go. Eggy the Tech, hello, how are you? With Inland Egyptian Blue, really? I used to have problems with greens, it seemed like. Green was always the one that gave me problems. But it isn't advised, I've read. Gotcha. Yeah, I knew there was something about it. Like, it didn't sense microsteps. The 660 didn't sense microsteps or something. It took a full step or something like that. I don't remember. But I remember there being some question about it. Nice. Another SKR 1.3 user coming up. There you go. So Tom, that's kind of what I was thinking. It can skip. Gotcha. Nice Java Bean. Man, I should have put some affiliate links for the SKR boards. I'm selling a ton of them. We've been talking about SKR pretty much all day. Arturo, they're fine. For the money, they're great. We'll see how they go for the long haul, right? SKRs and things like that. Jean-Pierre just described, thank you. They're great for the money. They're great, like Jake Matt was saying, they're great to dip your toe into 32-bit. It'll get you used to 32-bit, putting it on the board, a great way to get into it, especially using Marlin 2.0. They will run SmoothieWare, by the way, but I don't recommend that. And because they support all the neat features with SPI and UART, it makes them really valuable. If they're going to hold up, stand the test of time, and be decent boards, they're awesome. It's a really great combination. Yeah, the documentation is peanuts. Somebody else was asking about Fistech F6 the other day. I don't know anything about that one. I haven't even looked it up yet. Yeah, there was some. I don't remember the brands, but it seemed like I was on a rash of bad luck with green there for a while. Other Chris, you mean Warcocky? He made a statement about being basement dwellers or something. He's my evil basement twin, and I'm his evil basement twin. That a lot of people call Chris with a better beard. That's Warcocky. Going on your hypercube. Yep, I'm definitely going to test that on the hypercube as soon as I build the hypercube. That's why we have the community, exactly. You don't need Doc if you can make a nice video on it. Mark Greco is here. Hello, Mark. Oh, you are yet another Chris in the community. Got you. There is a ton of us. We need to have an old Chris hangout. There'd be like 50 people there. For your SKR, it included all the connectors. That's cool. Mine did not. Mine was just a board and a little piece of USB cable. I actually ripped the plug. I don't know if you watched that video, but I ripped the plugs off and used the DuPonts instead. Hey, it worked okay for me. Get me on the melt zone? That would be cool. Man, I don't know if I could handle it. Long hair and no hair basement boys. But I have better hair, thanks. Thanks. We talked about doing streams before, like together. My time is extremely limited, unfortunately, because I do the afternoon streams on Sundays, and sometimes I stream here, and I do videos and all that good stuff, and I have to have a day job. And I know he works a lot on the weekends. But maybe eventually we'll get a stream together. We were talking about like taking one issue, like taking a user that had an issue, and he would come at it from his side, and I'd come at it from my side, and we'd just kind of talk about it for an hour or so. That might be interesting to do. Joel's in the way of the print. Joel. Jeez. Can't leave you alone for a minute, Mr. Telling. There we go. That's a shave or get a haircut. Z banding on your Mega S, is it, so there's two types of Z banding. Well, I guess it's not actually Z banding. There's one type of Z banding and then there's another issue. But how consistent is it? Is it really consistent? Is it like sawtooth consistent? Because if it is, then you got a bent rod probably. You got something on the lead screw that's causing a consistent flap. I'd pull it off and like roll it on the table just to see what you get. If it's not very consistent, then that's a harder issue to fix. because it could be a billion different things. But it's most likely, if you're getting banding, it's most likely hardware related. So maybe you have a bearing bound up a little bit too much, just slightly. Maybe the bearings are probably turning on screws, which you really shouldn't do that. Maybe there's one of those that's bent just a touch. So I would go through all the mechanics and move them by hand just to see if there's any slight halt anywhere. Do that first. Check your Z-rods. Z-banding's really hard to get rid of once you have it, I've found, without some mechanical changes. I don't have any 5160s, no. 5160 is kind of bringing a gun to a knife fight. That's really for a larger motor. I guess a 5160 is silent step stick compatible, correct? Or is that the bigger chip? I wanted to say that was the bigger chip, but maybe not. Jerk value? So, jerk is somewhat hard to explain, but I can take a run at it. But more than likely, you're going to want to set it low. So what jerk value allows you to do is it sets a threshold in millimeters for instantaneous movement. So if you set to 10, you can bypass acceleration, the acceleration setting, the ramp up and the ramp down of a movement, and do it instantaneously as fast as the machine will go. And having it high is almost always bad. I set mine for X and Y to 5. And then on Z, I usually set it to like 2. Something like that. So I would set it low. So that's jerk. But then you have junction deviation, which is jerk's evil twin. It does a lot of the same thing. It's been around just as long. They use it in RepRap, I think, but now it's available in Marlin. Processor intensive, from what I understand, but it's going to try to achieve the same goal, and it probably has less tweaking that you need to do than jerk values would be. So it's basically you need to set it at what your machine is capable of, but I like to just leave it low and call it a day because it's not really going to give you that much advantage being able to do large instantaneous moves. Yeah, and that's exactly the problem with banding. It's really hard to diagnose because you're dealing with the whole printer, basically. I know, brand new printer. I run into it all the time. With just parts laying around, that's a good question. Yeah, I'm not really sure, Tom, on I thought those were bigger drivers. Really, I did. I thought the 5000 series was a much larger driver. You know, the one thing that I would be short on building printers is beds. I don't have a lot of beds. I could probably build 2 full printers with all the parts, but I could probably build 6 or 7 if I had, 5 more beds. So I do have a lot of extra parts. I have a lot of motors and things, but I don't have a lot of 42s. I've got a lot of different sizes, and I'm more comfortable on a printer using a 42 based on how big the mass is that you're trying to move. I'm a big fan of the 42. I have a lot of 30s, 28s, 36s, 38s. I got different sizes. So I could probably make it work, building 4 or 5 printers if I had some beds. But yeah, beds, I'm always short on beds. 3DG Dad, hey, how's it going? A low noise 5015 fan. Thanks, Lenny. You rock. Yeah, everyone send me your extra beds. But please make them flat, because I got a lot of bent ones. Please send me the flat ones. Right, 7 PLA only furnish, right? Try different beds. I would like to try a bunch of different beds and bed toppings. Like, yeah, like there's so many. Yeah, thank you, Tom, for all the beds. Right, Kyle. So, and that's what I want to do. There's so many different flex systems out there now. There's powder coated sheets from all these different manufacturers. There's silicone heaters. There's the Hebos, and there's all. We'll do AC. We'll do DC. That is kind of the testing that I would like to do. I'd like to do multi-zone. You know, you've seen the beds where you can just heat up the center or go to the outside. That's what I really want to do. The Hypercube build is for switching out parts easily because I can highly modify that design, and speed. I want to just see how fast those boards can compute that Core XY movement. That's kind of the whole goal for that build. It's going to be pretty good if I ever get it built. Benchy almost done. How long did this Benchy take? We're going to be real close to the 2-hour mark. Real close for a 2-hour Benchy. You know, it looks like it has some under extrusion. But not the worst Benchy I've ever seen. It definitely has some movement noise. So the effector is shaky and it's plastic rod. So yeah, that's going to happen. It's really quiet. I like that. It's fun. It's a fun printer. Garolite. You know, I think I only have one Garolite sheet. I think I've only ever had one. They're great for nylon and stuff, though. Those things are awesome. The what? I don't know that mod. I'm not even. What is it? What is that mod? Thankfully, they're cheap. That is true. That is true. Use some coffee cup warmers there. There you go. I'll just get Sterno. Just light it whenever I want to print something. None of that pesky metal kind of going. No, there's no pesky metal getting in the way of this one. Don't worry about that. Oh, it's in Cura. So yes, no. If it's in Cura, no, I have not messed with it. Exactly. Profile mod. No, I don't. Yeah, I don't know that one. I still gotta test Chuck's mod or Chuck's profile. Benchy's done. Yes, there are filaments that a magnet will stick to. The Inland brand, the only one I can tell you for sure, the Inland brand steel is magnetic. It is ferrous. I have some of that somewhere, but it's probably lost in a pile. But yes, there are a few magnetic filaments, and those same filaments also rust. So there is that. All right, Joel, we ready to get this Benchy off of here? You're probably gonna have to move out of the way. Sorry, stand aside, Joel. Let me take care of this one. All right. Move my Joel over here. See if I can get this to focus. This is the hardest part of streaming is focus. There we go. Okay, so right out of the box, you can see that it's not great. Now the overhang is actually better than I thought it would be. So there is that, because there's very little part cooling. You could probably get rid of some of this with some slicer tuning, but you can see, like, look around that wheelhouse up in here. You can see that real grady, wavy looking part. That's because of the slop in the effector. That's the plastic rods. There's nothing you're going to be able to do about that on this printer. That's just going to happen. Again, cooling issues, not great. We'll look at some of the, take a look at that smokestack. Yeah, not good. Very little stringing, so I hit the retraction pretty dead on. It could use a little bit more. It might be just a touch hot. Maybe cool that filament down just a little bit while we're extruding. Maybe I'll give that a try. There are quite a few holes. Now, I can probably fix that. I can probably figure out what's causing that and get it to stop missing filament. It might not be, E-steps might not be tuned quite right or something like that. I could probably fix it, but it's real bad right in front. You see it right there? And if you go look at the movements of a benchy, like when you slice it, you go through and see what it's actually doing, you'll notice the pattern when it moves to certain, like when it moves from the, this is in the camera, so I can't, it's hard to point at. When it moves from the wheelhouse over to the side, you can kind of tell it's leaving a certain area and then causing that artifact. It's actually somewhat interesting. And Cura and Slick 3R and Prusa Slicer and all, whatever you want to call it, they all do it a different way. So you're going to get a different tool path every time. So not a great benchy, but not the worst benchy I've ever seen. Benchies have been printed. Streams have been had. We only had one crash today, one computer crash. The printer gave us a bit of a fit, but I think that's probably a G-code problem. This printer probably needs some marlin, I'm going to guess. We need some marlin. I'm going to crack that open and see what board's inside there. Expected much better. Well, not on this one. This was kind of their budget-friendly attempt at a printer, and that's why they no longer make it, I would imagine. What time is it? It's not quite 1 o'clock for me yet. Just for fun, let's open it up. We'll go a few more minutes and open it up. Voiding the warranty now. Tom's happy. Yay! Carbon fiber tubes, yeah. I'm considering carbon fiber tubes on the. I hate this screwdriver. I had a better one. Where the good screwdrivers always get put down where I last used it, so it's never where I can find it, and that's usually over there in a pile somewhere. Put a mini in this one. Yeah. If there's a Rambo in here, this one's getting an SKR, and I'm going to use the Rambo on something else. Warranty. What's that exactly? This one actually has a serial number on it. I mean, SeeMeCNC's, they have intentions of supporting it. It really does, like, you know, when you were a kid, you took apart your RC car or whatever. It feels like that. I mean, it's, you know, just that classic brittle injection molded plastic. My vents are starting to pop off here. Probably going to start falling out. Each one of the stepper motors has a vent in front of it. It's a Walter printer, that's right. Hello from France. How are you? Put the INC in there, yeah. That sounds like a great idea. If it was a good idea, I probably wouldn't do it. What's in the box? Holy carp! That is a mini Rambo. Put a duet, yeah. Yeah, let's go ahead and smash this thing with a sledgehammer and put a duet in it. Let's cut the filament off of it so I can at least move it around. Check this out. See if I can get it in there and get it focused. Check it out. So, giant extruder motor there. What is that, like a 45? Yep, that's a 45. They got 38s, 32, 34s. 34s for all the axes. And then, no kidding, it's not even screwed down in here. It's just floating in the case. It was held in by the injection molded parts. No kidding, a mini Rambo 1.3A. This is a $110 board. That is a genuine Ultimachine board. That's awesome. In a printer that has about $5 worth of plastic in it. What are they using over here for this LED? You got like a little LED panel over here for just to light up the Eris. And all the wires are just kind of... That cracks me up. Now I kind of want to get that board out of there and liberate it and put it in something else. I really do like mini Rambo boards. All right, so we did that. The mysteries have been solved. Yeah, that board that's a high dollar board. That's crazy. Oh, well. Seven and a half hour. Good luck, my friend. Pray for no storms. All right, I think that's it for me. We will be on Fun in the Country Basement this afternoon here in a couple hours. FunCountryBasement.com. Did I spell that right? And it's not a link, but if you copy and paste it, it should work. Excellent. Yes, Walter, and there's a link to the stream right there for today. It will be on Walter's channel. We will hang out for a couple hours, talk more about 3D printing. It should be a good time. I'm glad, fun in the old guy trailer, yeah. Glad everybody got to hang out today. This was a fun one. Thanks for all the Super Chat chips and all the subscribers. We did get one Patreon person, and thank you for that. I will be sending you a note shortly. That is always appreciated. This was a fun little thing. I just got it just to entertain ourselves for a little while. It actually turned out to be a little more entertaining now that I find out that it has a mini Rambo on it. So I kind of enjoy that. But anyway, we'll see you this afternoon, hopefully. Come back for that stream. And everybody have a good rest of your day. We'll see you later.